Man, we've been busting out Gangplank Galleon a lot recently. I like using it for shenanigans clown music, but this is starting to get ridiculous. The point of this video isn't even about leaks. It's supposed to be the comments in response to Pokemon Legends being confirmed to not be an open world Pokemon game, but Centro Pokemon is back on their BS, and I need to set the reminder that they have zero credibility. Remember this, guys? Remember the new Switch model that was going to be announced today? Remember when it was the Switch Pro and not just the OLED? Like, it was supposed to be a hardware upgrade. They've also missed a lot when it comes to Nintendo Directs this year, and they've posted multiple fake 4chan leaks that didn't go anywhere. They delete it. They try to cover it up. So whenever they're doing anything, just know it's fake. Just know it means nothing. Especially when, as a leaker, they're not leaking anything. They're putting in these hints. That way they keep it as vague as possible. So if something like this happens, which are all like easy predictions, this is either going to be like the platinum version of Diamond and Pearl, maybe DLC, maybe an episode like we saw with the Delta chapter. D 2022, so anything that happens next year is on the table. And then SE leaving it vague for Pokemon Legends. This could be starter evolutions. This could be anything else. So yeah, like again, it's just taking like, oh, these are things that are likely to happen, and then we just make them extra super giga vague. So we try to claw back all the credibility we lost this year, and idiots are going to fall for it anyways. And then since they are idiots, they don't understand what this is going to mean or anything like that, so they're just going to fall for it. And I mean, okay, we got like Frostlass form for Generation 4. Wow, would have like never guessed that for the Hisui region, which also has snow and also Snorunt in the map. Nah, who would have guessed? And then like some other vagueness. Big nah. Either way, let's go back to what this video is about, because the comments in response to Pokemon Legends not being open world, I mean, like, we already have lost complete faith in the Pokemon community. The Pokemon community is dead, it's toxic, it makes no sense, it's completely fake, fraudulent, it's just the worst. The Pokemon community is the worst thing ever right now, which ties in with this, and idiots falling for the constant scams being put out by people like A-Drive, Centro Pokemon, the rest of the Pokemon community, other content creators and stuff. And then, like, we get into this, so, like Mike said, this is perfectly fine. I'll never understand how open world became synonymous with good. So this is talking about the actual article itself, where Pokemon Legends is looking to be more like Monster Hunter than it is Breath of the Wild. The reason why open world became synonymous with good is because the freedom inside of open world is what makes games like Breath of the Wild a massive success, and Breath of the Wild really just kind of raised the bar to near impossible levels as to what an incredible game can be because of those open world elements, and a lot of things have tried to replicate that and also create incredible games. Like, we have Genshin Impact, we have other open world games. Freedom is the best thing to have inside of video games. That's why sandboxes are so popular, and then it just kind of keeps going up and up and up from there. The world design should be whatever works best with the gameplay, and Pokemon Monster Hunter sounds great. Except it doesn't, and this isn't even Pokemon Monster Hunter. This is just the main series. There is no innovation here, there are no changes. This is just main series Pokemon, as everyone has complained about it over the last couple of years. Because you aren't genuinely exploring the area to have all of these like crazy encounters to move on to the next area. The game has explained on the website, which is like, is there just zero reading comprehension? I mean, like, yeah, that's already been confirmed in the Pokemon community. Is there just zero common sense, zero critical thinking skills? I mean, yeah, it's already been confirmed in the Pokemon community, but it's baffling. All you have to do is go to the website, and this isn't new or anything. This has been here for almost 2 months, and you can see that it's just Pokemon gameplay, but more tedious and annoying. You just get to wander around the area, and then you have to catch Bidoof 10 times, and you have to watch Shinxu's tackle 10 times, and then you're allowed to go to the next area, but that's where the warden's gonna be like, yo, the noble Pokemon's up to something, and then you just go into Pokemon Sun and Moon Trials with a totem Pokemon at the end, and the most bare minimum basic of action RPG elements where there is nothing at stake, because this might be the safest Pokemon game ever. So there's not even engaging action exploration that you get from Monster Hunter. Here's replies to the Kotaku post on Reddit. I have no idea where the anti-open world Pokemon game sentiment has come from, and I can only classify it as derangement. As long as it's segmented by hubs and zones or whatever in the way that Monster Hunter is, it should be a good time. Open world is great, but not everything needs to be one. So you mean, like other Pokemon games where the routes are gated by story or HMs, and then you come back to earlier routes with newer HMs, and then you get to expand the exploration. Here's the problem with the whole like, oh man, if this is gonna be like Monster Hunter, it's gonna be great. Pokemon isn't Monster Hunter. Monster Hunter is Monster Hunter, and it's been doing Monster Hunter things in its own way and being successful that way. Pokemon needs to be Pokemon. Pokemon trying to emulate Monster Hunter or trying to recreate some of the Monster Hunter feel will only fail. It can only be a lesser Monster Hunter. It can only be a worse game. You can play Monster Hunter World on the PC, and that's probably the closest thing to having like the whole PC Pokemon feel, but if you want Monster Hunter with Pokemon, Pokemon Legends still ain't it. Not even close. And the graphics are also terrible for the whole segmented exploration hub route thing, and it seems like there's really only one hub with a couple of like tents and barely a town. Pokemon Legends is not good. There's nothing to defend here, and even still, it's just wishful thinking. And it's also throwing away one of the most wanted things inside of a Pokemon game. Help me understand. We got some other replies. Open world doesn't necessarily mean good, but it seems like there's plenty of Pokemon fans who'd like to play in an open world Pokemon game at some point. Yeah, I'd like to choose my own Pokemon adventure. The dream is, I want to run out into a region and then do the gem order in not exactly however I want. You know, the first 2 gems can be scripted, that's fine. Saving the last gem for last, that's cool too. But if I want to like grind up and like power level and then like move around the map or something and not just be restricted and handheld the entire time and like, again, just have my own Pokemon journey, that's what I want. If there's like other cool elements being involved with that, to where it's like, oh, if I want to develop inside of the wild area or inside this open world region, then I have like access to a lot of tools and a lot of other cool things, and then you get to kind of forge your own path. That's what the dream of an open world Pokemon game is. Pokemon Legends, objectively, is not that, especially now after like the confirmation that was already confirmed months ago, but whatever. I'll be honest, the massive open world is a turnoff for me, and the main reason I stayed away from Breath of the Wild for a long time. The cool thing is, you're in the minority. And I think this just goes back to zero comprehension skills, that if there isn't a hard-coded structure for like millennials and zoomers now, they just completely fall apart and they're empty. They have no creativity. They can't do anything for themselves. So when a game is all about doing things for yourselves, they just completely crumble. It's sad, really. This comment starts out a little weak, but they end up saving it. I'm okay with this. Why is it okay now that people are settling for less with Pokemon Legends? Because Pokemon Legends isn't an innovation. It doesn't expand upon Pokemon, even though people are trying to treat it that way. It's just Pokemon Sword and Shield mixed with Pokemon Sun and Moon. And it has the worst of all those games, just cranked up for some reason, somehow, but Pokemon Legends just gets away with it. As I've explained through the core gameplay loop that has gotten even worse with the most recent information about the game. But every time I see more news on the game, I find myself getting progressively more disappointed. And this is what I called back in February, where I was like, huh, this game didn't blow me away because it looks bad. Like, that was another thing I want to bring up, is that for what it is, like, it's supposed to be Pokemon Monster Hunter, and it's not an open world, and it's going to be segmented exploration, then the graphics are unacceptable. Like, you can't defend the graphics now if the game is not open world. So what's shocking is that Monster Hunter was successful because of detail in their environment, graphics, and gameplay, all of which I don't see in Pokemon Legends. Disappointing. And that's why people are getting more and more disappointed. It's like, alright, we can take the graphics on Legends if it's just going to be like that crazy action open world Pokemon exploration dream. We're allowed to do whatever we want. We get to build the Sinnoh region from the ground up because we are an ancient Pokemon. No, never mind. There's a smartphone. There's weird nonsensical technology. It conflicts with all the history, and it's on a rail, and it's not open world, and it's just the same exact Pokemon game we've had. Cool. The entire thing just feels half-baked. I'm trying not to go with, like, the Game Freak is lazy narrative or the game is rushed narrative. Like, there's no reason for the game to come out in January if it isn't finished. They could have easily delayed it until March, April, May, and no one would have cared. They could have just been like, yo, May 2021, everyone's like, yo, they're giving the game enough time. It's going to be the best possible Pokemon game, and we're going to hold on to Brilliant Diamond Pearl for 6 months. That sounds fine. So this is going in with the absolute confidence that the game is ready. So again, I'm not going with, like, the whole rush narrative, and we know that Game Freak has, like, an insane pipeline for hundreds of employees to make the games that we're seeing for main series Pokemon and stuff. My problem is that it feels heartless. There is no care. There is no thought put into it. This seems like a knee-jerk reaction to the Pokemon Sword and Shield hate. So it's just completely empty and careless, and it leads to a bad game that feels really bad. So I think careless is a better word than half-baked, but maybe, for lack of a better word, the guy just threw out half-baked. I can see that. I'm surprised they thought the current trailers showed this in a good light. And again, that's what when you're looking at it, like, well, for starters, this immediately just looks like a lesser Breath of the Wild, a game that's many years old, that's about to have its sequel, and Pokemon is so late to the party and they're not even ahead. Like, they're not improving on anything inside the formula with Pokemon Legends, and that's visible. You don't have to play the game. All you have to do is watch and read. But people are like, no, man, game's not out yet, can't criticize it, and yet then they do the hypocritical thing by defending the game that isn't out that they know nothing about. Wacky. So, I hope they do a sequel. What? I'm excited for that. Basically, sort out all the stuff in the first game and figure out what works and what doesn't. Cope, my dude. Because Pokemon Sword and Shield was a great Pokemon game. All that needed to happen was expanding upon Pokemon Sword and Shield. But instead, for Pokemon Legends, they're going backwards. And no one gave Pokemon Sword and Shield enough credit to be like, yo, the game after Pokemon Sword and Shield that takes the lessons from Pokemon Sword and Shield and makes it into the best Pokemon game ever. No one gave Game Freak enough credit for that. But now, Legends Arceus goes a step back. And then everyone's like, yo, the next Legends, though, that's where it's going to be at. They're allowed, and now people are saying, oh, even if Pokemon Legends sucks, please buy the game and support it. That way the devs will continue to make innovations or take risks. Again, Pokemon Legends is the safest Pokemon game ever that has made no changes to the formula and doesn't innovate on anything. And if anything, it just makes everything about Pokemon worse and more tedious. Because they have committed everything in their worthless life to the hate over modern Game Freak. Pokemon Sword and Shield, Pokemon Let's Go, Pokemon Sun and Moon, all those complaints, they're funneling it in, bring back National Dex, Game Freak is lazy, Game Freak is bad. They've been warped into this to where now the worst thing that Game Freak has put out in years, or is going to put out in years, must be defended at all costs. It is precious, it must be flawless, there can be no issues with it, or else the entire half-decade of this person's existence has been a lie. The internet isn't real life. The only thing that influencers and content creators on social media care about is exploiting you so they can make money, and that's kind of shown through the Twitch leaks, where A-Drive makes $300,000 a year, but then still, like, giga e-begs on those donations and sub-trains and bit goals and all those other incentives and stuff. And you really can't even say it's just heavily manipulated children at that point, because social media has screwed up people into their 30s and also just massively, disgustingly exploits low IQ individuals as well, or people that just don't know any better because they can't understand any better, and we just have this completely toxic, nonsensical mess in the Pokemon community, but all it is exploitation. And then people like me that are the only ones looking at the facts, trying to bring rationality and reason into this. It's not fun. I know I'm not being fun when I, like, shut down a clearly fake leak and a clearly fraudulent leaker or something off 4chan that sounds cool. Like, yo, that 4chan leak was real? Yeah, incredible Pokemon game. I want it. But we had to be rational because not happening. Literally impossible. Bad actors without morals are happy to be fake to exploit those kinds of people, though. They'll say the things you want to hear, and yeah, that's how we're in this state where I keep saying it, but I don't understand how the cognitive dissonance does not rip people in two at this point. The amount of hypocrisy and double standards in the Pokemon community is beyond baffling. And then we get to this comment. I honestly can't understand why anyone ever thought this was going to be open world. This is the supreme idiot take. I talked about this in my last video when I actually, like, covered the news that we had about, like, Pokemon Company confirming this. The establishing shot is Breath of the Wild. It also looks like they almost straight up plagiarized the Breath of the Wild trailer and how they're trying to sell this open adventure Pokemon game. And now they're calling it, like, open section or open area game instead. Like, they're still using the term open because they're, like, trying to get people baited into thinking it's open world when it really isn't. But everything about it looks open world. Everything. Nothing in any of the trailers have given that impression. You're either a liar or you're completely oblivious to the outside world. I really don't get why gamers now see attractive vista and immediately think it means open world. He thinks he's going to try to be smart on those buzzwords, doesn't he? Yeah, because it does mean open world these days. Since Pokemon games are usually linear, and this is being made by the kings of doing the bare minimal Game Freak, that does not surprise me. See, like, the anti-Game Freak sentiment being added on top of this, I'm not for it. I don't dig it, but as we can see, the tide, it has been turning against Game Freak on Legends. And it wasn't even, like, from the recent trailers, not even the August trailer. Just, like, midsummer, people would go back and be like, ooh, Yeah, that doesn't really look that great of a game. And it was like so long without news that the hype kind of dropped off, so the rose-colored glasses faded. You know, the honeymoon phase ended without any other hype to kind of keep people excited and keep people distracted. And now they're just like, ooh, yeah, game wasn't looking good, and then new information's coming out. And all you have to do is read, kids. All you need is first grade reading comprehension. Because I think at kindergarten, you're just saying the words, but you don't really know what they mean. Scummy to make 2 different games and release them 3 months apart. Oh wait, is this guy also on different kind of idiocy? The only thing making me skeptical of this is the new games seem to offer nothing over Sinnoh remakes besides new Pokemon Forms evolutions. I mean, it's true. Pokemon Legends is offering nothing over it, but again, I don't see any malice here. I'm not toxic, so I'm not corrupted in this nonsense that the Pokemon community has become. So I'm just like, everything is a conspiracy theory about Game Freak being bad. Would guess the only reason Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl don't seem to have any new Pokemon is to sell people on this experimental game, which seems like a scummy but totally Game Freak-ish thing to do. But that's not what's happening, and that's not the Game Freakish thing to do, and because it's scummy doesn't make it Game Freakish. So yeah. Also, you don't even need to buy Pokemon Legends. There's Pokemon Home Transfer, which means, boom, regional variant breeding. Also, that means Pokemon Sword and Shield needs to be updated to actually have the data for these unreleased Pokemon, so that could lead to some kind of Dynamax Den event where you can get the Hisuian Pokemon or forms. Yeah, you know, it's going to make 2 different games and release them 3 months apart. Exactly, like, they're giving players a lot, but I feel like at this point they didn't have to do it the way they did it. Like, I would have been happier if this was like I said, this was a summer game, or just a completely different game. Straight up Generation 9 at this point. Pokemon Let's Go Johto. Anything would have been better. But instead, we get this. Yeah, this feels like the most cynical take possible. So, again, like we can see here, the Pokemon community is split in infinity different directions. We have the still Game Freak perma-haters that are just against Pokemon Legends because it's still Game Freak. We have the Game Freak perma-haters converted into blindly worshipping Legends Arceus because they have nothing left. We have the people that see it. We have the people that are being fair against Pokemon Legends. It's just all over the place. Yes, turn-based combat. I wasn't expecting that. At first, I thought this was a sarcastic comment, but no, this person's genuine. And that disturbs me. I wasn't expecting that, and now I might actually play this game. So the person thought that Pokemon Legends was going to be so experimental that it wasn't even going to have turn-based combat, but this guy wants exactly what Pokemon has been forever. Love Monster Hunter stories, but the actual story part was pretty thin. While Pokemon isn't exactly known for nuanced storytelling, I have an attachment to Pocket Monsters that I don't have in Monster Hunter, so this looks a lot more appealing. This guy doesn't even care about the open world or not. This guy only cares that it's turn-based, like Pokemon's always been. Weird. You are wrong. I'll tell you right. Oh, this is the best because this predates the Pokemon update saying that it's not open world, like the Pokemon company confirming it. You are wrong. I'll tell you why. You will not be dropped into areas based on missions. You'll be able to travel to the full map end to end, but not from the beginning. Then it's not open world. The map will be gated by terrain and blocks, so you have to overcome as you grow as a trainer. No, because new areas are only unlocked as you do research. That's shown in the story, that's shown in the gameplay on the website. That was also confirmed by the Pokemon Company. So, the most extreme derangement and denial being shown in full display when it comes to the Pokemon community. That's actually a relief, really. I don't know where the open world sentiment has come from. I can only imagine, again, it's because people are so over-invested into Pokemon Legends needing to be the perfect game that any news that comes out about it, they're just like, actually, that's fine, really. I mean, there is a strong overlap with, like, social media, the Pokemon community, and Democrats, but we're seeing parallels that are absolutely spooky, and it is baffling. This is just our sad reality of life now because you can't go anywhere without having the parallels. That people would rather be hypocrites than admit they were wrong and then aggressively defend their new stance that they once themselves disagreed with, while also supporting the thing that was clearly in the wrong in the first place. Joe Biden doesn't have dementia. Trump does. Joe Biden gets elected. Actually, he does have dementia, but at least he doesn't make mean tweets, so it's actually better. It's a good thing. Oh, what's that? He wants to open up the borders? Well, no, we can't have that now because Kamala Harris said, you know, go back home. Don't come here. But that's a good thing now because we're in an economic and a wage crisis and the whole COVID thing going on. So that's okay. All the bad things that rational people have been concerned about, pointing out that they are clear lies from one side, turned out to be clear lies, but then people are just accepting it like, well, you know, it's a good thing that these things that we thought were bad a year ago are now happening as they are. Trump's the fascist. Biden doesn't even want vaccine mandates. Vaccine mandates are needed for the good of the people. It goes on. Again, social media isn't real life. Everyone's been made stupid. Fine design approach, as neat as it would be to ride your flying Pokemon across the map over mountains. That's another problem I have. Pokeride. Why not just make it to where any Pokemon can have like some kind of traits or powers behind them, and I can use it. There's more freedom in Pokemon Let's Go, because some of the Pokemon fly or fly high, or you can just ride them. Like, I can just catch a Persian and I can ride it super fast. That's cool. Why can't I do that in Pokemon Legends? Why do I have to go through the story, unlock the areas, get gated by catching a million Pokemon when catching them once isn't enough? Like, that's stupid. That's insulting. No one can defend this. And people are like, well, it's the old times. We don't understand Pokemon. You're building the first Pokedex on pencil and paper, and you're the one, like, in this primitive technology, so we need to build Sinnoh together. Wait, but the phone exists. Nothing makes sense. It's so careless. So this is an objective regression of features. We're going from improvements made with Pokemon Let's Go and then going back to Pokemon Sun and Moon. And this is where having more of an open world idea behind Pokemon Legends would have made it a better game. You can catch a Pokemon, and then its traits allow you to do things like, you know, headbutt trees, even if it doesn't know the move headbutt. It just has that strength inside of it. You can ride it if it's like evolved or big enough. Flying Pokemon can fly to a certain altitude and carry you a certain distance, and if it was all level based, then that gives you the incentive to kind of grind up in the lower level areas, and then as your Pokemon get stronger, that's when your Pokemon can now carry you over that hill, fly you over that hill, maybe break the boulder that's in your way because you need a level 40 Pokemon to do that. That's why we wanted the open world game. That's why we didn't need this gating and handicap on a rail children's game that's more childish than Pokemon Let's Go, that blows all the potential that Pokemon Legends could have had, that an open world Pokemon game could have had. The choice to go down a slightly harder path, therefore you could train your Pokemon more efficiently and then accelerate your adventure to then take over the Sinnoh region or the Hisui region however you want. But no, that's a bad thing now because Pokemon Legends doesn't have it, and Pokemon Legends needs to be the ultimate perfect Pokemon game. So yeah. And then again, the people that just conflict themselves in the same sentence. I'm okay with this, I guess, but I really want an open world game like Breath of the Wild. This just feels like more hand-holding than believing their player base has grown up and can handle more. Then how are you okay with it when it goes against everything you wanted? That's another thing, like, this is supposed to be the mature game. This is supposed to be for the older Pokemon fans. It's supposed to be like the edgy, harder game, but guys, Cleavor's sad, and because Cleavor's sad, we gotta have, like, this child that's taking care of the noble Pokemon. This child wants us to make Cleavor not sad anymore. The entire thing's a joke, and we can see that in the comments and the nonsense and all that other stuff, so hope you guys enjoy the video. Hope you all have a nice day. Thank you very much for watching.